सजदे में यूं ही झुकता हूँ तुम पे ही आके रुकता हूँ क्या ये सबको होता है KK I don't know how much he would really care for that. चल छोड़ना यार क्या है सब. He was very he was very clear.
Hello everyone, I'm Soumya Vajpayee and you're watching HT City. हम रहें या ना रहें याद आएंगे ये पल. These words kind of summarize why we are here today. May 31st, unfortunately, marks the first death anniversary of one of the most talented musicians in our country, who was not just loved by audiences across the globe, but was also a beloved friend to a lot of people from the industry. We are talking about KK. He's given us some of the most beautiful songs, from Pal to Ashaएं, to Aankhon Mein Teri, Tadap Tadap, Yaaron, and so on. I mean, the list is endless. So we thought that today shouldn't be about sadness. Today shouldn't be about missing him. So I think today shouldn't be about feeling low about his physical absence. I think it should be more about celebrating the artist he was, the magic he brought to the world of music. And for that, there couldn't be a better name than this person who is sitting next to me. He's not only had a great professional relationship with KK, but is also among his most beloved friends, more like family. Shaan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Soumya.
So, speaking of KK, Shaan, it's been a year, and time, of course, has just flown. And I remember, like, for people like us who would engage with KK on a very work level. So even when we heard of the news last year, it left us shattered. But for somebody like you who had such a long-standing relationship with him on a personal, on a professional level, I can't even imagine the kind of pain and vacuum you must have felt. So please tell us how this year has been without the person KK. I mean, of course, he's there in spirit, but...
Yeah, the thing with KK is that ऐसी बात नहीं थी कि हम रोज टच में थे या हर दूसरे तीसरे दिन मिलते थे. लेकिन हाँ, मतलब जब मिलते थे तो उस तरह से मिलते थे जैसे कि हम रोज मिलते हैं. और एक म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी, एक म्यूचुअल कनेक्शन था which was beyond just two co-singers or anything of that sort, because we shared a lot of our life journey together. We kind of started out together, blossomed together, and had a lot of met through the crossroads professionally, so much that we also would be personally connected. Our children went to the same school. तो उस तरह की काफ़ी चीज़ें हो रही थी. At the point when I got the news, it's just flashing right in front of me. हम लोग कुछ एक मिक्का दी गोटी वो शो कर रहे थे, और मेरे मैनेजर सिद्धार्थ को ये खबर आ चुकी थी, लेकिन he didn't want to tell me at that point. Not just me, even Radhika was there that night. Okay. Thank God she was there. And तो जब वो बात बताया तो I was in complete disbelief. I said like आजकल ये सब करते रहते हैं, जोक है, ये है, वो है. और तो then we waited, and then we got more news agencies and more people, and then of course Hitesh Bhatt, उनके मैनेजर से जब बात हुई तो it was pretty evident. And so we were up, Mika, me, Radhika, we was up and just shocked कि हुआ क्या. Obviously I was contemplating that I should come back and be there for his final journey. I'm sure the channel, the agency would also understand that something needs to be done. But knowing KK, I don't know how much he would really care for that. चल छोड़ना यार क्या है सब. He was very he was very clear what works for him, what doesn't work for him, and it was so much I have learned from him, and not that I've been able to imbibe those qualities, because it takes a very strong personality to be a KK. So but so often you know exactly how he's not that unpredictable कि कभी ये कर दिया, कभी वो कर दिया. मैं हो सकता हूँ कभी बड़ी भाषण देता हूँ और फिर खुद ही कुछ उल्टा कर देता हूँ. We're human, we are sometimes can be quite superficial, or sometimes get carried away. Not KK. So I'm sure नहीं यार वो media होगा, this I don't know. मैं खुद अटेंड नहीं करूँगा. I don't feel like so shy away. People, attention, like someone's taking a photograph and they don't even realize that's KK who's taking that photograph for you. So when I'll tell the guy, आपने अपना फोन पता है किसको दिया है? You look at airports and all, they go for a show together. We KK, hey bro, you get upset with me. क्यों बोला यार? ना मेरे साथ भी फोटो लिया वो यार. Smile. he was happy to just, you know, do my thing and not like that. There was no fringe benefit. What he's doing is all that he wants to do. He wants to be on the mic, wants to sing, and what it brings with it, along with it, of course he appreciates. I mean, I should tell him, do you know, like, go on the net. They care, like, people are going crazy about you. They have a name for you. Mesmerizer, KK, hashtag, ये वो. अच्छा, दिखा. यार, सब respond नहीं यार, छोड़ना यार. So एक बार करो ये do वगैरह यार. Like, so that was his. He speaks like that, and he's like, what I'm going to do now. I can actually hear his. When I'm saying it, I feel he's saying it. I can see his face, that smiling, very chill out. Think about KK. You know, there are people who tell you the most obvious things, but in a very profound way. ऐसे बोलते थे जैसे कोई महान बात बोली, जब आप सोचे तो कोई खास उसमें कोई ठोस दम नहीं होती. लेकिन ये इंसान ऐसा था कि बहुत कैजुअली जो बोलता था ना, उसके पीछे दम होता, लेकिन वो बोलता था बहुत ही कैजुअली. बाद में अब एक साल निकल गया, many times बैठे इंस्टेंसेस मिलना, रिकॉल करता हूँ, सोचता हूँ, उसके इंटरव्यूज देखता हूँ अक्रॉस द प्लेस. तो इस तरह से रहा. जब वो खबर भी मिली और फिर मैंने कहा कि वहाँ जाऊँगा और काफ़ी ऐसी चीज़ें होंगी जो ही वुड नॉट अप्रिशिएट. जैसे आपने पहले कहा था ना, कैन यू राइट अ लेटर टू केके. आई नो ही इज नॉट इनटू दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टफ. ही फाइंड दिस, यार क्या ड्रामा कर रहा है यार, लेटर क्या लिखना है, ये वो बात कर लेंगे, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. ही वाज नॉट ऑन व्हाट्सएप. ही वुड नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड within a certain time of day. If he's on holiday, phone is off. You have to speak with his manager, Hitesh. But जो भी वो भी उतना ही रिलैक्स है. अरे यार क्या है, 2 दिन बाद के रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, कोई नहीं. But when there is like we have to rehearse for something, he was very clear. Shaan, you have to पूरा डिजाइन कर. I will come prepared. Take my word for it. When we do the show, he was more prepared than I was. Okay. I may have designed the act, but he told me also, यार तू मेरे गाने का लिरिक्स भूल जाता है, लेकिन तेरा लिरिक्स मैं एकदम पूरा एक भी लाइन यहाँ नहीं भूलता हूँ. तो प्रिपेयर यार, तो ऐसा रहा है. सॉरी अबाउट दैट. 2-3 लाइन से मैं जंप भी कर देता था, लेकिन then he had to sing along with me and all. So एक बार ऐसा भी हुआ था. So it's not that he wouldn't be proactively doing something, but एक बार commitment कर दिया तो फिर there is no way he'll pull out of that. So he had those beautiful qualities. Yeah.
Right. You all started your careers around the same time. You also mentioned that before.
बहुत कुछ बोल दिया.
Yeah. So उस time पे, of course, there were a lot of commonalities also. You all did independent music, you did jingles, you marked your playback debut around the same time, 99 में.
True.
And then, of course, the way your careers flourished, respectively, they were also on a very similar plane.
Right.
So, but as an artist, was there a differentiator between you and KK, or was there a commonality? Was there an exchange?
I think there was more common than different between us. I mean, he was a saying was easy bolta yaar, he's here.
He is.
So he is he's a Malayali growing in Delhi.
Absolutely.
I'm a Bengali, born and brought up in Mumbai. Both were very prone to Western music. Both were big Kishore Kumar fans, but his is more rock, mine is more pop. वो थोड़ा सा अलग था. He was also part of rock bands back in Delhi. I tried, लेकिन कुछ बात जमी नहीं. I mean, the band didn't do too much. We see only years, not get any gigs. And the only thing is, he like I have a whole family history of music and film music, so to say, my father being a composer and घर में वो sittings और एक माहौल था पूरा म्यूजिक का, जो कि केके के घर में या परिवार में उस तरह की चीज़ थी ही नहीं. तो वो एक फर्क था. The first time we met, we were both just newbies. I've mentioned this story a few times, even when for many years now, how we met the first time. It was quite amazing. So I used to go to college, first road, Giant College. तो वहाँ से वो ट्रेन वहाँ से निकलती थी. फर्स्ट रोड मतलब चर्चगेट स्टेशन वाज द फर्स्ट क्लोजेस्ट स्टेशन, और खाली ट्रेन निकलती थी दोपहर के टाइम पे. तो एक बंदा आके बैठा था, उसके हाथ में वो वॉकमैन था. तो वॉकमैन हम उस टाइम पे तो मतलब म्यूजिक भी सुन रहा है. एंड उस टाइम ऐसा नहीं था कि हर एक के पास वो सेलफोन पे डाल के हर कोई अपना कान पे लगा रहे हैं क्या सुन रहे हैं. म्यूजिक में सबसे है. बाकी हर किसी के पास ऐसा want to be musical, listen to a song while I'm traveling in train, ये बहुत rare था. तो मैं उससे पूछने लगा कि व्हाट यू लिसनिंग करके बात शुरू हुई. ऐसा ना तो सिंगर तो ऐसे बहुत सी नेम्स है. KK. तो ऐसे कहते just 2 nights back my sister told me she's done some Sagrika, she did some duets with you with Vishal Bharadwaj, and she was saying what a range, what a voice, what a very different, you know, जो तभी तक एक फिल्मी स्टाइल में सिंगिंग होती थी, ये बहुत ही एक रॉक वाइब लेकर आए हैं हिंदी गानों में जो KK. So I said the name rang a bell. हाँ Sagrika, yeah, I met her and all that. So she said, yeah, she said that brother also sings. तो you must be Shantanu ये करके the exact conversation तो obviously याद नहीं आ रहा है, but it was very sweet and very like we bonded almost immediately, you know. And then of course I got off in Bandra. He carried on. I think I don't know where he was then. Andheri, I don't know where he was, but he carried on. Or that was our first meeting, and then of course then we kept meeting, and then you know things just went on. So it was beautiful.
Right.
So yeah, from the very first meeting we kind of hit it off. And
how was it like in the studio with him, or maybe on stage with him?
We've sung a lot of duets, but very few times that we've been in the studio. We have done a few studio sessions together also. But lots of fun, yeah. Very, very casual, very
your
easy.
songs with him, they're all blockbusters. Das Bahane.
Yeah, I think I have more hit songs with KK than any other co-singer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then we've sung, if I take out a list, at least 20-25 गाने हम लोग ने गाते किए, जिसमें से काफी सारे you know
कोई कहे कहता रहे.
हाँ, कुछ तो मतलब anthem hits हुए और कुछ उस वक्त उस दौरान काफी पॉपुलर हुए थे. You know एक गोलमाल जो पहला आया था, दाल में काला है या काले में दाल, गोलमाल वो ऐसे ऐसे गाने जो एक जैसे कि वो on the dance rock the body, rock the party, आगे ये शो पीछे ये शो, so these are these mega hits, but उस टाइम के काफी पॉपुलर गाने थे. I think this was in race one. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे देताली के गाने थे जो पॉपुलर हुए थे. And so जब भी डुएट का होता था घूम फिर के KK and me, because I think urban films का एक ट्रेंड आया था during the early 2000 through 2000, you know, 7-8 where hero शहरी हीरो है, you know. तो इस तरह के सिचुएशंस जैसे My Brother Nikhil, तो एक ही गाना था, सुनिधि ने भी गाई, and then KK and me, so all three had our versions of the same song. तो इस तरह से बहुत सारे गाने हैं जो हम लोगों ने, I mean we kept crossing paths. I think our first duet together was for Anu ji, जो डर गया वो मर गया, and that's, I mean we just kept doing so many songs together. कुछ songs तो we missed out. ये तो साइला रे क्या बोला फिर बोल रहे, तो गाना हम भी है जोश में, ऑलरेडी मनु जी और साउथ में वो गाना रिकॉर्ड हो चुका था, फिर हमें बुलाया गया था वो डब करने के लिए, बट किसी वजह से दे स्टक विद द अर्लियर डब ओनली. बट ऐसे कुछ गाने, एक और वो हाँ चल मेरे भाई, उसमें भी कुछ किस्सा हो गया था आनंद जी का, तो वो भी हम लोग सिटिंग किए थे, लेकिन इट डिडंट ट्रांसलेट इनटू द फाइनल. वो मेरी कुछ स्टुपिडिटी थी, बट एनीवे. तो आई मीन यही था कि KK को बुलाते हैं तो डुएट है तो शान को बुला लेते हैं, शान को बुला रहे हैं तो डुएट है तो KK को बुला लेते हैं. बिकॉज़
स्टूडियो सेशंस जितने भी हुए, अगर सो any memories from there?
बाय देन यू नो वो अलग अलग का हो गया था,
कल्चर आ गया था,
अलग अलग का कल्चर हो गया था. एक गाना आई रिमेंबर, सोनू KK me together, we dubbed in one booth together for Ilayaraja ji. Ilayaraja ji used to still have his recordings like that. He'd want all
the
three
old school way,
three of them together, so you know you feel the energy with each other, and तो उसमें हम तीनों की अच्छी क्लास हो गई थी. इलैयाराजा जी ने सबको अलग अलग हार्मनीज दिए without telling us what is the related note the other person is singing. तो मैंने यार ये कैसे होगा, ये तो स्किल है. But of course the genius that he is, when he put it together, we're like marvelous, that kind of situation. But I will see, that was a wonderful day, three of us, hanging together on the studio, and but of course our focus was all on the maestro. But it is nice.
Right.
It is nice.
And for shows when you would travel together.
Then we spent a lot of time together.
There would be a lot of personal engagement, travel time.
Yes, of course. And sometimes you're on the same flight. The flight से ही मस्तियाँ शुरू हो जाती है. Then you go there.
उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए.
KK is very disciplined as a person. He really time management or basically prioritizing time. उसमें मैं बहुत अलग हूँ, मैं फैल जाता हूँ जहाँ भी गया. So but he used to like to hang out with me, that's for sure. किसी के साथ इतना वक्त तो नहीं बिताया होगा कि शो के बाद भी मैं बैठूंगा भाई, लेकिन तो बहुत लंबा करता है, तो लंबा सिर्फ फॉर एज लॉन्ग एज यू वांट टू हैंग। लेकिन उनके विदेशी भी थे, तो के चलो चल यार आ गए मेरे डैडी आ गए, अभी क्या करें इसको, तो that kind of thing. And KK wouldn't drink, wouldn't smoke, wouldn't you know, he was very when he's talking also, he hey man what's happening, इतने जोन में, मतलब ज्यादा एक्साइटेड होके तोड़-फोड़ डांस वांस वो सब नहीं, he was very controlled, but it was natural, the way he was, it was natural, that's the personality that he was. And so we would have a lot of sensible obviously when you cut everything else, in sensible conversations ही होंगे, and very sensible, very about family, about एक मुझे कहानी याद आ रही है, नई मेरी शादी हुई थी, शादी तभी जस्ट हुई थी या होने वाली ही थी, KK was already of course married with kids, and you know so they were the mature couple. So he started telling me about management, how you know he knew his priority, and he used to call Jyoti Joe. He's saying, I mean, this is when they just started out. So the first thing he asked her when they both got married, they saying, how much do you think you can run the house in? So she mentioned an amount, nothing great. So he's saying, great, तो जितना है इसका मैं 2x करूंगा, उसके बाद अगर कुछ इनकम कर लिया बाई चांस, तो वो विल गो स्ट्रेट इन सेपरेट हॉलिडे पैकेज, वो हम लोग सिर्फ वेकेशन के लिए रखेंगे, वो फिर डोंट स्प्रेड दैट इनटू running the house, or getting more and more ambitious with ये करते हैं वो करते हैं, गाड़ी बंगला, वहां मत जाना, that is only for vacationing.
Okay.
So when he mentioned the amount, Radhika भाग के आके मेरी कान पकड़ ली, नहीं she's telling me, hey, our household is running much more, इतने में नहीं चलेगा यार, तो यार ये she didn't want me to become like, she wanted me to be more ambitious, push with shows and stuff, because KK after he's got that amount, would say महीने का हो गया अभी next month, हाँ next month he would leave shows, कि नहीं अभी क्या करना, then holiday कब करेंगे, so very difficult when you're getting it, and you saying कि नहीं यार this is a plan, and you say नहीं, he's been like that. I mean of course that is the beginning, obviously that amount must have increased, but he still has that system, that family time
is reflected in his persona also, because his public image is also of somebody very introvert. He would not go to a lot of social gatherings, parties, as you said, very composed, koi ho halla nahi, nothing like that. So what
मैं यही कहूँगा कि introvert is not the right word, but he is not social.
Okay.
Because he somehow in his head felt that at parties people are not real.
Okay.
People are just हम लोग मिलते हैं, and he's right to some extent, because you can't get into a deep conversation at a party. Hey, what's happening? Hey man, love your shirt, bro, look at those shoes. यही करते हैं लोग, और क्या करेंगे ना, उसका let's go follow, तो you're not into that space. So you think I'd rather meet someone on a one-to-one where I can have a conversation, rather than be at a party where I can just we just have to ऊपर की बातें करनी है. Television again, he shied out because he didn't enjoy his first experience when he did Fame Gurukul, and he kept telling me, yaar. So I was like the one-point contact kid, please, you can talk him in, if you're there, he's there, ये बनेगी, I तो कर ले यार, you know how I feel about television, ये वो करते then ironically the last time we met was on Kapil Sharma's show on television, and he was having a blast. Once he's there, like I said, he's got commitment कर दी तो कर दी, then he's fine, and he brought that up. I said, KK, you're such a natural, you should do television on a regular basis, I mean by now the experience that you maybe you got, it'll be a great way to give back to the newer singers about, and his singing was so relevant even till the very last. His singing was never dated. KK की गाने सुनको नहीं लगता कि यार वो 20 साल पुराना गाना चल रहा है. It felt like it could be some young kid singing from this generation. So because he never carried baggage that way, so he approached everything from a very pure and very simple way also. कोई जिद नहीं थी कि मैं ऐसे गाऊंगा तो लोग पागल हो जाएंगे, बस मुझे गाना ठीक से गाना है. तो
what was his formula for staying relevant? How would he reinvent himself to stay updated with the moving times?
As much as I know KK, he would take time to warm up, and the only reason is that he would want to keep it real. So sometimes as a singer I can also say we kind of, once we understand कि ये जोन का गाना है ना, then we use some templates that we know that अच्छा ये गाने का है तो इस तरह से करेंगे ना तो बन जाएगा अपना गाना. तो फट से we break it down as a genre of the song, but he would let the song seep into his system, and that is the way he sang right from the beginning only. So even from his first song, you couldn't feel that there is any, which to some extent even I would like to think even I would keep that thing, but sometimes I would give in a little more to, यार रोमांटिक गाना थोड़ा हंस के करके गाता हूँ, ऑटोमेटिकली रोमांस आ जाएगा उसमें. But I realized his way of thinking was, and if that process is disturbed, then you can hear it in the singing also. Some songs I could feel that KK sung this half-heartedly, मतलब उसका दिल नहीं था, कर दिया.
अच्छा.
And I know for instances sometimes he said, यार मजा नहीं आ रहा आज. He would even drop a song if that process is disturbed, for whatever reason. The composer is being very pushy of taking him to a certain zone, and he would love to be in a certain zone. I think that's why he enjoyed working with certain composers, with Pritam, with where that comfort level matched.
Right.
Where even the composer Vishal Shekhar, they knew what he's going to bring to the table, so we don't need to push him into our zone. We want his zone, so we call KK.
Right.
And so I think that was his process, and that's why he stayed real. तो sometimes बड़ी फिल्म है, फ्लैम्बॉयंट हीरो है, उस हिसाब से भी हम करते हैं, but he was true to the song.
So this would never matter that ये गाना किस पे screen.
I don't know, but I think the little bit that we spoke ना, his whole funda was like that only. कि वो नहीं करना चाहिए यार, वो क्या होगा ये वो जो गाना जितना है. And also he was not a classically trained singer, or even had those kind of chops that he could show off with, कि मैं ऐसा हरकत कर दूंगा, ये कर दूंगा. So he played to his forte, which was pure belting out with an open voice, with a great range where the voice doesn't get compressed even when he's, it's got this nice low mids going on in his voice, and on some songs he would turn into a devil.
Yeah.
I mean that. If you look at Alvida, that is pure rock. You can see कि वो पूरा अलग,
you can visualize
ये कोई आत्मा आ गया उसके. So he was very real in whatever he did. He didn't, like say if I had to sing आँखों में तेरी अजब सी अदाएं हैं, I think how shall I would give him that whole जिंदगी बदन बना दे जो पतंग सांसें तेरी. I don't know, अभी मैं ऐसे ही सोच रहा हूँ, but आँखों में तेरी अजब सी अदाएं हैं. How a boy would sing it to a girl. वो boy कौन है मुझे नहीं पता, but कोई boy प्यार में है और किसी के बारे में फैंटासाइज या किसी के बारे में क्रेजी हो रहा है, तो इसे तक क्रेजी हो सकता है. So it took a while, like, for me to understand that, but when I did understand that, it helped me to sing. Yeah, because until then I used to also do a little bit of affected singing, little bit, क्योंकि पता था कि वो take होके नहीं होगा वरना.
And Shaan, as far as musicality is concerned, कुछ common interest थे. आपने बोला किशोर कुमार you both were fond of.
Yeah.
Apart from that, what were your common
No, like we used to sing Ravija Mukherjee songs also.
Yeah.
Just felt कि straight street singing जो किशोर का style था, वो was more conducive to our singing also. But one thing I noticed when I started singing with KK was that though he was known as that rock singer and he had most of those very belting out kind of songs, very loud kind of hitting, काफी जैसे वो देसी बॉय या peppy जो भी था.
eccentric, yeah.
But when he क्या गिर दिया anyway. But when you hear him live, he used to not project so much. वो बहुत soulfully soft, जब बिना म्यूजिक का गा रहा ना कोई गाना, तो maybe recording में he sang it with that full josh, but when he's singing it for you, he's singing very softly and very soulfully.
Oh, nice.
Not so that is something in the show also, like there's so many like say when you even yaro dosti, that was not badi hi haseen hai. We used to get carried away sometimes, कि वो drum बज रहा है ना, अभी इसका level इतना ही था, यारो दोस्ती बड़ी ही हसीन है ये ना हो तो. So giving it also, I learned a few things, and so yeah. I mean, obviously, we had a lot of exchanges and ideas, and we had a lot of commonality, a lot of things that we both felt the same about. But अचानक से ऐसा सब just टक करके fuse. I mean, of course, So all those things are there. You can always.
Do you feel that this unfortunate incident was a result of something that some kind of health related or some kind of stress related, and anything that musicians, as they age, is it lifestyle? What could have led to this?
Obviously.
Or I can add to that after this incident, did you do anything to kind of better your lifestyle?
Yeah, lots of things happened after that. First, I was in denial कि नहीं हो सकता, but when I heard the story and I heard the way it was done, I was angry more than I was frustrated.
Yeah.
That this could have easily been, लोग कहते हैं ना ऐसा होना था, हो गया, but this could have easily been averted, because I had, but घूम फिर के then you come back to the same thing कि शायद होना ही था, तो इसलिए it was staring in front of your eyes. There you know that he's probably having a slow heart attack issue, the shoulder pain, the going down to the back, finding the mic too heavy, a lot of things. But I'm thinking, because he's had a very healthy lifestyle and he had this issue with acidity. You always thought that inherent एक होता है ना कभी एक अरे यार acidity have two jelly cells and carry on, it's all good, because why should I have any issue? I don't have any cholesterol, I don't have any. How would one think KK has a heart blockage? I mean, it's just not. Lifestyle has no symptoms saying that so I'm drinking, I party, I'm sometimes sleep deprived, but I'm still pushing. But he was very, very, very disciplined. Sleep time, that many hours, no stress, no insecurity, very satisfied with his life and living the life that he envisioned and living it exactly the way he wants to.
Right.
With the family also completely on his side of how, घर में बल्ब भी चेंज करना है तो देके जाएगा करने के लिए. So he was that into those little things of life. So he was a very satisfied man. So obviously in his head, and everyone who knows him also knows कि यार heart attack कैसे हो सकता है? But the symptoms are very obvious.
Yeah.
So that made me very frustrated, very angry. And then of course on insistence of my family, my sons, they were like, "Nee, Dad, get a MRI done, because you're madder than KK into 100, so we need to sort you out." Luckily it was all clear, all proper.
That's true.
And once KK coming in, imagine he took nutrition points from me. तुम लोग खा रहे थे, रात को मैंने कुछ आधा पराठा ऐसा कुछ खाया से रात को मैं कार्ब्स कम करता हूँ यार, just keep to protein. Came back home, मेरा रात का भी रोटी बंद करो. Shaan doesn't have. I heard that later from Jyoti saying. Yeah. Then he came back. He said, like, now, I noticed he does not have carbs at night. तो मेरे भी रात के carbs अभी कम करो. So yeah, I'm glad at least मुझसे भी कुछ.
How nice. So Shaan, if you had to describe him in one word, I know it's going to be difficult, but
real. His singing was real. He was real. I've said that when he was. I mean, the worst thing is that we talk about people when they are gone more than when they were there. But of course I had a lot of, because we did so many shows together, so we cross question होती रहती थी कि what are your views on KK. So I got to, and could I say all the beautiful things about him, and he's real. That's what I said कि कई बार कुछ गाने में सुनता हूँ मैं KK इसका, he was not in the song. When I heard him singing ये तो यार कहीं से कुछ एक क्या बोलते हैं उसका क्या गेम टॉप गेम लाया इस पे. And I really thought he should have won the any awards in a marathon. Do you know that KK's got 13 nominations?
Okay.
Filmfare nominations, equal to, and this is the highest, and equal to only Kishore Kumar.
Oh wow.
Kishore Kumar was also KK, and हमारे कृष्णा
कुमार,
yeah, वो भी KK हैं. दोनों को 13 nominations मिले. KK in a shorter span also, and not a single filmfare.
Wow.
So that's pretty, must hurt a little bit somewhere. I mean, would have hurt.
Did it matter to him? Did you?
No, I mean, he thought it's a jinx. Saying जिस दिन मिल जाएगा jinx हो जाएगा. I think he said that also in a few interviews.
Right.
He was very keen to make his own music, his own album. But I think he was, that let's do it. वो थोड़ा relaxed था क्योंकि he was घर आ जाता है, then switch off. Hustle नहीं करनी थी.
Very content.
Yeah. That kind of thing. And so that was KK for you. It was this 1 year, of course, I'm going through his other interviews, and that's what I can say. He was real. Whatever he said from the heart. It may have been repetitive because that's how he is. He's not trying to entertain you, or like he's not trying to hustle. He's not going to come up with some new stories every time you meet him. But he was the way he was. I think if you follow that kind of, like Arijit today, he's doing his own thing. I mean, at the peak of his life and career, he's not there on Insta making reels with his wife or getting out and doing, but each one to their own. I'm a restless sort of a person. I enjoy entertaining, being entertained, being alive, making every moment a fun moment and making it count, because that's life. I mean, look at KK अभी आज नहीं है, अपना तो कुछ भी ठिकाना नहीं है ना, so वो preserve करके खुद को क्या करना वाले का, वो पिटू बन जाएंगे हम लोग at some point. So everyone has a different thing, but I respect those who can just have a strong ideology, certain principles. आज की तारीख में जहाँ ये सारी चीजें आपके पास इतनी easily available है and social media के through, but they choose to live their life to their own term, do whatever they want to do, and not be a part of the hustle.
Right.
So that is something you have to respect. Hats off to that. And that's how, that's what KK, if you're willing to learn, bad student too, but he's a good teacher. I want to learn that from him.
Wow, so nice. We'd like to close this with a beautiful song that you can sing of KK for KK.
The गाना मेरा all-time favorite है, क्योंकि गाना, when we had a special show for him, Bombay में, I had sung it also, but गलत नहीं गाना चाह रहा हूँ, तो सजदे में यूं ही झुकता हूँ, तुम पे ही आके रुकता हूँ, क्या ये सबको होता है, हमको क्या लेना है सबसे, तुम ही से सब बातें अब से बन गए हो तुम मेरी दुआ. ये कोरस भी जाएंगे. खुदा जाने के मैं फिदा हूँ, खुदा जाने मैं मिट गया, खुदा जाने ये क्यों हुआ है कि बन गए हो तुम मेरे खुदा.
Beautiful.
Wow. से
Wow.
song took a twist. But
Okay, Shaan, thank you so much. I don't think there could have been a better tribute to KK for this. It's all about celebrating him, and I'm so glad we had this conversation because we got to learn so much about KK, his personal life, his bond with you, and his love for the craft, of course.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.